Hey guys, so today we are at the Indy 500 Carb Day. As you can tell, there's a little bit of noise around me and it's a little bit crazy. So we're getting to see these crazy machines that go 235 miles an hour around this track. And we are testing out this crazy machine made by Zhiyun. It's the Zhiyun Weebill 3E. So if you're like, I've always wanted a gimbal, but I don't want to spend an insane amount of money, this thing holds a ton of weight and does a really great job for a really low price. So let's go try it out. Sorry, it's really loud.
As a quick disclaimer, Zhiyun did send me this for free to try out, but I promise you that I will give you my real opinions on this thing and I'm not going to try to sell you on anything. So let's get to testing how fast this thing can track cars going by over 200 miles per hour. So I'm genuinely pretty shocked at how smooth this is, especially in the slow-mo, but let's see how it compares to just the regular handheld tracking.
Okay, so this gimbal was put out by Zhiyun as like a secondary brand called Cinepeer, and the whole idea is that it's an attainable piece of tech for just regular people who want to go out with their family to a thing like this. So I want to see what it does. So doing something like this with kids is just always a challenge. They're all losing water bottles and breaking things and sliding down hills, but it's a lot of fun. It's always good to try and pursue adventure and just go after things that are a little different, like this. Right, Ellie? We gave her a sucker so she'd stop talking. Took us super off guard. That was awesome. I know.
So most of the time when you have something like the Indy 500 right in your backyard and you pay money to come see it, you'd think that you'd know exactly what you're getting into, right? Well, not us. We basically just showed up with a family and a camera and we came to see everything there was to see. And even if it wasn't the day of the race itself, it was so much fun.
One of the coolest things I think about being here and getting to see all this different stuff is just the history of it. Like there are super old cars, like the cars right in here are what they used to race this thing with. And the whole thing used to be made out of bricks, which is crazy. Like could you just imagine going super fast across bricks and then just wanting to live to see tomorrow, let alone being able to. It's really cool getting to see the history of it and then seeing this next to this, the brand new ones that are just incredible feats of technology.
So we ended up getting to have some close encounters with these $10 million Indy cars, and we also got to meet some awesome vendors. But hands down, the coolest part of the day were all of the times that the Air Force's Thunderbird team appeared out of nowhere, shot across the sky, and stopped everyone in their tracks. There's just something about the technology of those F-16s and the skill of the pilots that can even make a grown man stop and stare in wonder.
All right, you thought we were here to see the Indy 500, but this is the real race. Ben, he's going down.
You're going down.
3, ready? 1, 2, 3. All right, you're good, Battle. You're good, buddy. You're right.
Me too.
Because you had a shorter track, so that's why you cheated.
Oh, I did not have the shorter track. I had the shorter track.
Thank you. Bye, guys.
Thanks.
Hello.
Okay, honestly, we're not 100% sure what all there is here to see, and there's not a whole lot of direction. There's just like stuff everywhere. Oh yeah, that is a really cool tailgate. Weird. Autumn's buying a truck apparently. We're not buying a Chevy. We're not buying a Chevy. In just a minute, there's gonna be a pit stop competition to see how fast these teams can do pit stops. We're gonna check that out. I can't hear anything. Am I yelling? I feel like I'm yelling. I'm yelling? All right.
So whether you're a racing fan or not, the Indy 500 holds a special place in people's hearts. It's actually the world's largest one-day sporting event, and it brings crowds of up to 500,000 people from every corner of the globe, always pulling in true gearheads. But it's also not just for racing, and today proved that. For better or worse, I think a good chunk of the crowd comes just to drink in public with 500,000 people and have a massive party. But from time to time, there actually is some competition involved, like with this pit stop challenge.
Eyes on the race course, everybody. The pit stop competition is about to begin. Red light, here we go.
Grosjean gets to the box first, head-to-head now for the pit crews.
Grosjean had a nice jump on Cinepeer. Let's see if that makes a difference. It does.
Rossi just fractionally ahead and with a stop. Who's going to work?
This is a close one.
Newgarden moves first.
This is a good one. On the watch.
Okay, so this has been a really fun day. It's been really cool to get to see all this stuff here. The world's largest one-day sporting event right here in Indianapolis, and we got to see the kind of trial day for it. But this gimbal was really awesome. It was really fun to play with and to get some really cool shots of just like an outing with my family. But there's so much more to say. I'm gonna say it really quick, but let's run back to the studio and I'll tell you what I think. Let's go. Okay, so we're gonna take just a minute or two and talk about a few different things with this, like what I like about it, what I don't like about it, and who I think it's actually for. First off, what I like about it, it's cheap. It is like dirt cheap compared to a lot of the other gimbals on the market. And I mean like half the price of some of them that are very similar. There's a link below in the description where you can buy it. But if you click that link, I'm gonna make like 50 cents. So that'll be pretty awesome. It also is really incredibly powerful. For a little bit while I was using it, I actually put a Tamron 70 to 180 lens on it, which is way heavier than what this thing is actually rated for. And while it wasn't perfect, like it actually held it up. Like I thought it was just gonna droop and be sad, but it worked. I don't know how it works. So the other thing is it's not too powerful. I don't know why, but every time I say anything about any gimbal ever, there's always somebody in the comments who's like, does this work with a phone? This thing is way too big to use for a phone, but it actually does work with a phone. Like there's a lot of these bigger gimbals that just won't hold up a phone well because they need more weight. This thing, for some reason, it works. And lastly, the controls are really, really simple. The app works, like it just kind of does what it's supposed to, which it's an entry-level gimbal, so doing what it's supposed to is like 9/10 of the game. That said, there are some things I don't like about it. Like, I don't like that it's a little kind of rickety. Like, I don't know if you can hear that, but like, while it's sitting there and the camera's attached to it, it's just not the most stable thing in the world. But also, like you're talking about a really cheap entry-level gimbal. Like, it's gonna hold up. Like, I don't think you can mess it like that and putting a lot of weight on it. It's not doing anything. But it also made me a little uncomfortable with the big, heavy, expensive camera on it. So most of the time I was walking, I was holding the camera and not the gimbal, which I wouldn't have to do with some other ones. One just pet peeve of mine is that I really like to be able to hold the button to lock it so that it's in the normal gimbal mode. You hold it to lock it, you rearrange the camera, you let go and it stays there. This one doesn't work that way. You can click it to change to lock mode, but it takes a second. It's a little iffy on the way it works. And I don't like that when you hold it, you can't do that. But it does have a go mode when you hold it, which makes it really fast. And that's how I got some of those videos of those 200-mile-an-hour cars going by, was by holding down that and go mode, and you can get some really fast shots. The other thing I'm not a huge fan of is just the build quality. The screen is just black and white. It just does the bare minimum. But also, you're kind of paying for the bare minimum. Like you can't pay half as much as the other gimbals and expect them to be exactly the same. I'm actually really impressed with the level of professionalism they put into this thing for the price. Like honestly, it really did blow me away, and I'd tell you if it didn't. So who is this thing for? I think this gimbal is for people who don't have a gimbal. Like people who are like, I might want to try that thing, but I don't know if I'm going to use it or if I even want it in my backpack. It's powerful enough to do a big camera or a little camera. You can kind of grow into it. You could put a phone on it if you wanted to. Like
Please don't do that. It's so dumb. But you could do that if you wanted to. This is really good for entry-level people who are wanting to get into this game. But I really like it. I'm happy to have it. I think it's a pretty good gimbal. We had a ton of fun at the Indy 500. So if you want to buy this thing, then there's a link below. And like I said, you click that and I'll make like a tiny little bit of money, and that'd be awesome. And if you don't want to buy it, then don't buy it. Like, don't spend money on something you don't need. But what you can do for me is click this link right over here, go to the next video, and keep joining us in the adventure. So we love you guys. We're so thankful for you, and we'll see you in the next one.